Hi there. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a jazz, sorry about that, how to make a jazz track in FL Studio. It's actually a lot simpler than it sounds. I know that jazz can be quite difficult, um, musically and sonically and all the above, stuff like that. But it really, stupid Skype, it really comes down to a few core things that jazz needs, right? So a lot of times in a jazz trio, you've got for example, a piano player, sax player, you've got the drummer, or you've got a guitar player. So I figured I would start off with the keys, right? So basically, what we can do here is let's just open this up, and I'm going to talk a bit about the chord progressions here. So this is a 2 6 1 sorry a 7 uh, chord progression, and basically it's a very I picked it because it's honestly a very common jazz standard. You might even recognize it when I play it in a second here. It's used in a lot of jazz standards that get played over and over again, and it's a good place to start when it comes to producing your own jazz beats. So basically, let me just talk about the actual chords that I used here for a sec. Uh, so when it comes to chords in these jazz beats, I tend to use very common things, very common tonalities that you would commonly hear in, you'd probably even hear it in stuff like dubstep and radio pop music, stuff like that. So the chords that I would tend to use would be common ones like 13 flat 5 flat 9, a 13 sharp 9, minor 9 major 7, 7 add 13. You know, these really ones that we hear time and time again. So it's not all that difficult. So actually, let me just play you my example here, and you can just hear for yourself. I'm just gonna solo out these other instruments. Alright, so as you can hear, it might even sound familiar to you right off the bat, and you know what, that's great because that can really give you an advantage over some other people that aren't really used to those tonalities yet, which I don't even understand because they're very common. Uh, but anyway, that's not the point right now. So what you want to try and do is use chords like the ones that I mentioned, that they're not very dissonant chords, they're very resolved chords. For your 4 chord here, you're going to want to use something that's very unresolved, like a dominant chord or a major chord. That's an unresolved tonality there too. Um, actually, let me just throw that in there because that will sound a lot better than what I got there. Um, So yeah, like this unresolved tonality will get resolved eventually when it comes over to the one here. So let's just hear what that sounds like with the new chord. So see, already throwing that chord in there, it made things a lot more, made things flow a lot better because it hits this chord and, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. And then when you hit the root chord, it's like, oh, I'm totally on track here. I'm on the road to recovery, right? So the next thing I'd like to cover here is the drums usually in these jazz beats. You really have to use, when it comes to these jazz beats, you want them to be believable, right? So you want to use samples or a VST that is very expensive, because I mean the money that you pay for these expensive VSTs goes into research for these sounds, and that must mean the sounds are good, right? Why else would it be like $300, like FPC for example? Um, so yeah, you can use very overpriced samples, or you can use a very overpriced VST like FPC here. This is a great one. It's got some great samples. Like they're very, very almost. They do acoustic drums well. Like, they do them perfectly, and you can edit a bunch of stuff here, but I don't know what the hell any of this shit does. So let's just use the default here. So let me just solo my drum pattern here that I made earlier for you guys. So basically that was in a polyrhythm, and basically what that means is the kick and the snare have been channeled into the same scale. So basically this is a C drum snare scale, and you can use them however you want. You just have to make sure that on every bar the snare lines up in the middle like that, or like this, or like this with the line of the bar. So see, I got it lined up here. Oh, I did it wrong here. It doesn't line up. So I lined it up, so now it should sound more polyrhythmic. And it doesn't matter for here because it's going to turn around and hit that middle punch snare there. So yeah, you probably want to just do that up, and really for the kick it doesn't matter. You can just experiment and throw some random kicks in there and see how it sounds, because that's how a lot of music's created. So and then one of the things I also like to do is jazz, like mainly contemporary jazz, is focused a lot on the kicks, right? So I've used Fruitkick here. What you can do, you can also make your own kick in 3x oscillator, um, which is more work than it's worth in my opinion. Or you can use samples again, but Fruitkick really has that pocket of power that is needed in bebop jazz and in contemporary acid jazz and stuff like that. So what I've done here is I've made the kick pattern in 2/4 because I find that 2/4 has a very almost a drunk swingy feeling to it, since it is an uncommon time signature. So let's just hear what that sounds like here. So as you heard, it really it really gives you that typical acid jazz sound, or contemporary, or bebop. Honestly, they're all the same thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So what we can actually do now is we can probably actually just start mastering, because this is really all you're going to need for a jazz beat. You could probably sell this right away once you've rendered it, uh, because nowadays this is all you're going to need to make it big. So anyway, let's just go to our mixer. Where's zone? Well, okay, for now, let's just go to our channel settings, because I don't know where the mixer is. Yeah, so for the channel settings for the FPC, what you probably want to do is make some adjustments on this mod thingy. I don't know what it really does. But I like to just turn this knob up and then turn that down, and it gives you a very articulated kind of sound. So let me just so as you can hear, it really gives you a really reverberating, punchy sound. And I also forgot, you got to turn the volume up here a bit to get that sound going. So that's honestly the best way to make reverb. I find that a lot of the reverb plugins in FL Studio aren't very good. Personally, this is one of the best ways. This has got to be up there. So and what you can do is add some automation for panning left and right if you want to give it sort of a acoustic drum set on wheels moving across the stage, for example, like in a live situation. But I'm not going to do that today because that's not the sound I'm going for. So what we can actually do now, for the FL keys, we can actually make these notes eighth notes. And basically what that means is every eighth note, we put notes there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shrink this like this. So 4, so 8 would be here. Then you're gonna copy, paste, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. So every 8 notes, there's a chord being played. So it's the same with 16th notes. You just have to count it out. 16th notes tend to be longer and more stretched out. So if you're going for a slower track, since 16th notes tend to be the way to go. So let's just see how this sounds. Yeah, so that's already really way better. That's really doing it for us. So I think we're good to go here. So the last thing you might want to do is layer it with maybe some hats or a snare. So we could probably just do this. Yeah, you might have noticed that I've done every 2 notes here, and then at the last here it goes 3 notes. That's really to add kind of like a polyrhythm, right? So just to throw the listener off the track of modern success. So what we're gonna do is go to piano roll and just copy and paste it. Again, in different keys, that tends to work out pretty well. So yeah, let's go down here. This works out pretty well too sometimes, is going to these lower scales, because usually in jazz music the closed and open hat is played in, I think it's a beat, it's a what is it called? Harmonic minor scale usually. It's either harmonic minor or melodic minor scales usually that are played on the hat. Then on the snare you got like your major, your minor scale, those very unfamiliar tonalities, which is why it works so well on this, on the kick and the snare. So let's just see how that sounds now. So yeah, you can see that the low notes on that hi-hat really added a sense of urgency to the last bar there. So yeah, okay, let's see, what can we do here. We can probably mix now. So let me just go on Google here for a sec and look this up. Okay, so it's actually, yeah, wow, I never even knew about this menu here. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, here it, oh my god, and it even has a hot, jeez. I don't know how I do this sometimes. It's probably just because I'm naturally talented with this stuff, but anyway, what you're gonna want to do with most jazz beats is make sure they're not on their own channel here. Like you see how there's different channels. You're gonna want to make sure they're all on the master channel, because a lot of jazz tends to be raw and unmastered actually most of the time in a live environment. So we're gonna throw them all on the same channel here. So master channel, and here this is where you can add your effects. So you can see that there's a limiter here. What we're probably going to want to do is crank the ceiling way up there, so that already gives it that punchy sound, right? And then what we're going to want to do is turn the gain to about sorry, my mouse got all glitchy there for a sec. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Yeah, sorry, my mouse is glitching out. Oh, there we go, I think I got it back. Nope. Okay, you know what we'll do is we'll just load a preset here since that's not working out. So we can just use, oh, they've already got one here for jazz drums even, so we can use this one, or slight saturation. But I don't like slight saturation because it tends to sound very bright. So let's just go for drums. Oh man, that sounds really good. I like that. So close that, and then we can add something here. What I usually add is either a buzz effect adapter or a blood overdrive, because usually that I don't, it gives it a very raw, very breaking up sound, like almost like if you can picture drums through a tube amplifier that's cranked to 11. Obviously that doesn't make sense because drums get plugged into uh, a hand-wired amplifier or a basement, like a Fender Bassman. I've never heard of that, but yeah, blood overdrive. So basically what we can do is we can crank this preamp, crank the preamp way up, and this is almost like the on-off switch. They called it times 100. I guess it's some kind of inside joke or something at ImageLine. It's like they think they're funny or something, but they're not. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna turn it on, on, off. Yeah. And we're gonna make sure that the post filter is on. Yeah, so you can see it has sort of a mid-90s kind of sound, mid-90s gabber jazz sound, and that's pretty much what I was going for. So, thanks for watching the video. If you got any comments, leave them in the comments section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, favorite this video, do whatever you can to get it around. In a time like this where we've got so many producers making immature, just garbage beats, it would be good if someone like me could rise up and take control of this once and for all, because we really got to revamp the jazz beat style, the acid bebop techno jazz gabber style. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.